Rick, it's that time again. It's what the whole world is waiting for now.
Is it Monkey News?
It is Monkey News. Please perform live the jingle.
Why'd you say that?
Oh, we've got a few people saying, "Oh, is that a pre-recorded jingle?" Yeah, like anything's pre-recorded.
No, it's different every
we've got
week.
that technology.
I'll give it a big one, shall I?
Give it.
Oh, chimpanzee that Monkey News, you.
There we go.
Right then, well, got an email from John. You know, if you've got any monkey news going on in your area,
just let us know. Podcast@RickyGervais.com.
Oh God, amazing!
just bung it on email. And this one's sent in from John. Don't know where he is, but do you know, like, they're running out of TV ideas and that?
They're running out of TV ideas.
Well, you know, they've done a lot of stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
if you had to come up with a TV idea now, you struggle, don't you? Because every idea you come up with, it's kind of been done on it.
Sure.
Okay.
Right? It's like inventions and that. Right?
They're not getting monkeys to come up with TV ideas, are they?
Well, no, right? But there's a TV channel in Moscow, right? And I think they had a bit of bad luck or something, a lot of redundancies and that, right? And whoever was in charge of it got a bit mental and got rid of loads of people, right?
Yeah.
And they come in the next day and they were like, right, are we ready to go live and that? And someone comes running in with a clipboard saying, we haven't got any people left, right, to present.
Such nonsense.
Right, tell you what. Right, okay, carry on.
So he goes, what?
If just one employee turns out to be Simeon and is doing a good job, I'm never doing this radio show again.
So this TV channel, you know, it's having a lot of problems and that. They've got to go live, right? He's like, what am I going to do? Anyway, for some reason, right, there was a chimp knocking about.
For some reason, that's the key piece of information,
but
we didn't get it. We didn't get it.
It doesn't matter, does it?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Imagine
Anyway.
if that was in a film. And they're going, well, I can't see where this plot goes. Well, he's just there. He's just there.
So anyway, he sort of says, get it in a suit, right?
Why?
So, because they're running out of ideas, the clock's ticking, they've got to go live with something.
What do you mean? What he's
Is it a
presenting?
news programme?
He's
Well,
presenting.
Listen, it's a chat show. I am not.
They can't
Again,
talk.
don't have a go at me, have a go at John, who sent this in.
Right,
and
be
this
quiet, let's hear it. Let's hear the end.
So anyway, so like I say, so they going live, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, whatever. Chimp sat there on the chair. He was like, look, let's just get through tonight's show and worry about this tomorrow, right?
What are you talking about?
Look.
So they put a chimp in a suit. What was that, handmade, or were the sleeves a bit short on him? You idiot, think!
So anyway, it's sat there, right? And they're going, right, here we go. Good luck, everyone, right?
Yeah.
Chimp's there.
What programme is this?
It's a chat show.
But whose chat show is it?
Well, it's the monkeys.
I like the fact that
It's the monkeys now, is it?
I like the fact that they put the chimp in a suit. It's like, no one's going to take this chat show seriously if he's not dressed up, if he's not smart.
Slovenly, look at that, slovenly ape.
So anyway,
Oh.
let's get to the point of it and that, right? So anyway, so they go on, right? It's all going
Didn't
brilliantly.
happen. There's no way this happened.
Here's a fundamental
So anyway.
question. How was the chimp asking questions?
Not sure about that bit, but all I've got is the stuff that was on the news site for this. Like I say, I've
But
given
it's
you,
rubbish.
Yeah, but I've given you some facts.
No,
I've
they're
told
not.
you there's a TV channel in Moscow that's having problems, right? I've explained that.
No,
bit.
it's this rubbish.
They've got rid of the presenters. The monkey sat there, right? Don't worry about it. Anyway, I'm telling you, it goes all right.
It
So
goes
anyway,
okay, in case you're worried, Rick.
he's sat there, right?
Absolute
They get to
shit.
the first break, they're like, can't believe it, right? You know, viewing figures and that, they're loving it, right?
What? No, what? How did they know the viewing figures in the break?
Please do not interrupt the
And
news.
what did the chimp
At
do in
end
the
of it,
first half?
They had a big guest on that week and what
And
have
what
you.
did he do? Just talk to
was it?
himself?
They walked up.
So Cher comes on,
I'm
yeah.
not sure, but say if it is Cher, right?
No,
Right,
what-
the main gaffer is like going, oh, Cher's going to go mental. That was right for putting.
Say
her on
it
with
is.
the
No,
monkey.
it is Cher.
No, it's
In
Cher.
his mind, it's Cher sitting there talking to a chimp in a suit.
So anyway, she
and they're
comes
filming
off-
it for Moscow TV, and the ratings are going through the roof.
Presumably there's a translator, because Cher doesn't speak either Russian or chimp.
So she comes off, right, and the bloke who's in charge is like, she's going to go mad. She's going to go mad here. She walks up, she goes, I love that. Right? She said that's one of the best interviews, right? So anyway, they decided, right, it went so well, kept him on. He's still there.
I love the fact that Cher was an idea that Steve threw up, and now she's going, I love that, I love that, I love that, Jim, get me back there. I want to go to Moscow, never mind. Unbelievable.
Don't have a go at me, have a go at John, but, you know, if you've got any monkey news, send it in.
Podcast@RickyGervais.com.
From the creators of The Office, Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant. Extras, the first series, now on DVD.
Who are you?
Nobody.
What's that? Who?
Nobody.
That's right. Nobody. And who am I?
So the Starsky Hutch I can never remember.
You are guaranteed an Oscar if you play a mentor.
I've just written a sitcom, but I wonder if you could give it to anyone you know.
Is there any nudity in it?
Well, it could be.
Men or women?
Either. Well, just women. Yeah.
I will make it so.
A painfully funny double disc. Extras, on DVD now.
Thanks for listening. Happy New Year. Particularly to our friends at Positive Internet. Who
those guys have a wild
They
time.
host this podcast and they do a brilliant job. Happy New Year to everyone around the world. And in particular, those guys at Positive Internet.
And also, Paul Party Animal Parker have a blinding New Year, because I imagine it's going to be crazy.
You don't need to say it to
your
him.
mum's house.
I'm insulted that you have to tell him that, because there's no way you need to tell him that. He's going to have a blinding New Year, so don't waste your breath, Steve.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Happy New Year. Welcome to the world's #1 podcast. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant.
Hello there.
And Karl Pilkington.
All right.
We have had an overwhelming response from emails. To be honest, we're very grateful and thank you so much, but we've had over 4,000, which is just too many to get through. So we're going to have to apologise for not getting back to you. We are going to try and read them all, but we just can't reply. We do this ourselves. We're three little fellas. We haven't got an entourage and millions of people working for us. It's just us in a little room. But thank you so much. One in particular, remember a couple of weeks ago we asked if there's any house DJs out there, maybe they could do a dance mega mix with the words, "I could eat a knob at night." Karl just said that in conversation, talking about someone in a reality game show, "I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here," who ate a kangaroo penis. And he just came out with the phrase, "I could eat a knob at night." Someone has risen to the challenge. We had about 70 different songs. We're going to play our favourite at the end of the show, and maybe put some of the others on the website, rickygervais.com, so you can go there and hear great dance tracks. They're all called "I Could Eat a Knob at Night."
Oh, no one's switching off now. Everyone's guaranteed they're going to stay right to the end there, so they can hear, I want a bit of knob at... Was it? I could eat a knob at night.
I could eat a knob at night.
It's funny, it was only a while ago, you were talking about getting quoted, like Winston Churchill got quoted, and Ben Franklin got quoted, and now you may go down in history, "I could eat a knob at night," Karl Pilkington.
Karl, I could eat a knob at night, Pilkington.
Talking of all things nobular, I got a text from Karl yesterday, Steve.
A text from Karl, yeah.
Yeah. I'll just read it to you. "Okay, see you to Moz for a face rub at 6:30 then. No bum tubes though." So I was intrigued, and I called Karl and said, "I think you've just sent me a text by mistake. What's the explanation of that? See you tomorrow for a face rub.
Yeah.
No bum tubes though."
Just because my mate, right, Russell,
Why did he choose you?
he said, you know, there's things that go on in life that you need to experience.
Yeah.
He said, just pop along, and I didn't say yes straight away.
What's a face rub? You mean a facial? Like a facial?
Just like a posh face wash.
Like a facial, where you lay down...
You just clean your face with a flannel and that.
So you're going to have a facial scrub, you're going to go lie down with another man and have your face
Well,
fiddled
no,
with?
this is what I was saying to him. There's a couple of questions. I didn't just say yes straight away, I questioned it. I said, well, I'm not that happy with this. I said, look, there's nothing weird going on here, is there? I said, it's not a house, is it? It's a proper clinic and that. He said, yeah, it's proper, you wear a dressing gown and that. I said, well, I'm not that
So
happy
he's
with
already
that.
got you in the dressing gown?
Yeah, well, I haven't agreed to that. Today I've worn a little round polar neck sort of jumper so I don't have to take it off. It's not going to get in the way of my face. I made sure I didn't wear a shirt with a collar. I'm not taking this off. They can put the dressing gown on top of this.
Right.
If you have to do it to look smart or whatever. I'm not taking my clothes off. Okay. I don't know if it's a woman who rubs my head. Don't know if it's a bloke or whatever.
Well, the thing is, you get extra, don't you, for your face rub, because your face goes all the way back over the top of your head down to the back of your neck.
But all I was,
so you've got a big face, haven't you?
All I was saying to him is, I'll have the face rub, but I don't know if once you're in there,
right,
they try and sell you the old...
the
bum tube thing.
What's a bum tube? Is that a euphemism? What are you talking about?
The thing where they pop a tube in and put coffee in your belly and it cleans you out and that.
An enema?
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
A colonic irrigation?
Yeah.
Why would you have that?
I don't want it. I don't think
Why
you
not?
need to. Just because I think I've said to you before about, you don't need to be that clean inside. You know what I mean? I don't mind washing my face, but at what occasion do you need where you're that cleaned out? Do you know what I mean? And it's always a clear tube and that, and you see all the stuff whizzing past. I don't understand why it's clear. I don't know why you've got to see what's coming out of you. Like it's, like the generation game, making notes of what's whizzing past. Forget it.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Over the Christmas break, I was watching some different TV. Saw an amazing documentary. It was called Tribes. This guy, and he goes and lives with different tribes around the world. These small little indigenous people. And there was one. He went to Papua New Guinea in Indonesia, right, Karl? He lived with the Kombai tribe. All right. Now, this Papua New Guinea is an extraordinary place because it is one of the only places left on Earth that hasn't been fully explored. There are parts of it that it's just blank on the map because they've never explored there. They don't know what's there. They don't know what's going on. So, firstly, that must already freak you out. Imagine that 21st century. They have no idea what's going on down there.
But do they need to know if there's nothing going on?
Well, they don't know what's going on. There could be stuff going on.
No, but there's no chance that they'll go, we haven't been over there, and someone goes and there's like an Arndale centre. Nothing's going to be there, is it? So there's no...
Well,
no
I'll tell you
point.
what is there, okay? There's these various small tribes, okay? This guy he's amazing, right? Now, the thing about these is that up until the 60s, and even more recently, some of these tribes are still cannibals. They're still cannibalistic, okay? Eating people from other tribes.
This is going on now?
Going on now. It's generally stopped, but it still does occasionally occur, alright? So this guy goes to live with them, right? They walk around, obviously naked, except for a little leaf just above their genitals. It's not covering the genitals, it's just above the genitals.
Do they know they could move on? Have they got a telly? Or have they seen a telly and gone, I'm not up for that? Or are they saying...
It's not the Amish.
They haven't chosen
But what
this.
is the difference between the Amish and these people?
Well, the Amish are a group of people that choose to live in that way. These people are just essentially untouched by civilization. I mean, they do have interaction with civilization, and people do come there, but they still live in this very, very almost prehistoric way. They go around, they have homemade weapons, they kill pigs and hogs in the undergrowth. They live in kind of tree houses.
They did buy a telly, but there was nothing on because there isn't any broadcasters.
They couldn't plug it in.
Yeah.
They were an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
But there was one guy, okay, now he said that his brother was dying. This was a couple of years ago, right? His brother was dying. He said to his dying brother, what happened? Why are you dying? This guy said it was a bloke in another village. Okay, he goes over to the other village, he kills this other bloke, right? He eats him, or eats bits of him. The other village gets a bit annoyed. They go, what's going on? Why did you kill this bloke? He went, sorry about that, right? They said, well, you need to make it up to us. He gave him a pig. They said, a pig's not enough. They gave him 5 pigs.
Hang on, who are they giving these pigs to? The tribe?
To the tribe of the bloke who he killed and ate. So 5 pigs apparently made up for the fact that they'd killed one of them. They said, well, hang on, what are you going to do with this bloke's wife?
Why were they bartering? Why didn't they just get the police in and say, what's going on?
What police?
Yeah. Why didn't they call Morse? I mean, what? Yeah. What? Why didn't they call in Kojak? Because he'd have sorted it out, wouldn't he? Or who else could they have called in? Columbo would have sorted it.
I don't understand. What are you saying? There's 2 tribes.
There's a number of different tribes, aren't there? I've just explained that to you. There's a number of small individual tribes in this dense Papua New Guinea forest.
With a load of pigs.
With a load of pigs. But the wife of the guy that he killed, Nate, they said, what, we don't need her now, we don't want her. So she had to come and live with the murderer of her husband. So she's living there now. Happy as Larry.
But what I mean is, right, they're miles away from anything, but it doesn't sound like the great place to live, right? Could they not move? Could one of them go, do you know what, I'm sick of this. I'm moving or whatever, and go to a proper city. How far away is this, these Papa people, to the next...
They're like the Smurfs. They're very like the Smurfs.
But how many miles away from a place with a normal life going on?
But think about this, Karl. Firstly, they don't speak the language. So they don't have any practical skills. They've got no experience of civilization. So even if they chose to go and live in one of these cities, what can they do? How can they function? They'll spend, 15 years just trying to figure out how everything works.
Mind you, I have had the same thought about, Inuits.
Right.
If you live in a house made of ice and eat fish all day, and then just stay in for 6 months, move. I really do. I mean, I don't understand why they're living there.
I think there's some bacteria that has better lives than that.
That's got to be offensive.
Why?
Okay, how about this is one of the weirdest things. This is one of the weirdest things, right?
Sorry! An entire race
Just
of people.
dismiss.
No,
Just
no,
dismiss.
I'm not having a go, but I'm just saying I wouldn't fancy it, is what I mean.
But they
You know what I
don't
mean? We're living
know
in
of
ice.
another world. How can they imagine that they could... Oh, I'll tell you what, this is boring. I'm tired of hunting for food and eating fish from the river. I'll tell you what, I'd like a world where there's iPods and room service. I'm going to go and move to New York. They're not thinking like that, are they, Karl? Because they don't know about this other world.
Which is why, in a way, Karl can't offend them, because they are not listening to this podcast.
Very unlikely. Very unlikely.
You're not going to get any nasty letters from Eskimos, or Inuits as they want to be called now.
Does an Eskimo ever...
Inuit.
Do they ever
Inuit.
meet, like, an English person on holiday? And an English person goes, it's choppy here, isn't it, or whatever.
Well, what do you think?
It's just that people go to, you know, Steve said before about places he's been to where people are still walking about with swords and that. People go to these places on holiday now. They like a little bit of danger. They like to see how the others live. So all I'm saying is, we know they exist.
Yeah.
The Papa people, maybe people aren't going there. You know, it doesn't sound like the best place. You know, I can't imagine it having a tourist board or anything, right? But would they accept me if I popped over there and, you know, with Suzanne, sort out a little weekend break and that?
Where are we talking?
We're talking Papua New Guinea?
In Papa.
Well, okay, this is one of the things that they do, okay, which is a tradition you may have to do. These Kombai, right, they invert their penises, so they push their penises back up inside their bodies.
Like a sock.
What for?
Well,
Keep it out of the way.
Of what?
Well, if you're running through the undergrowth, chasing a hog, you don't want it flapping away, you know.
But
it's also become a kind of ceremonial thing, so if you were over there, you may well have to try it yourself.
You would have to try it yourself. If you went there, you'd have to try it yourself.
But even cavemen had little pants on. Why haven't they...
Whoa!
Slow down.
Rewind.
What do you mean?
Again, you've been watching the Flintstones.
No, it's just, you know...
Is it a leopard skin pair of pants that's actually quite a... Go on.
But it's a well-known fact that they wore, like, bear pants or whatever.
Bear pants? What do you mean, bear pants? No, listen, you are a qualified anthropologist, so what...
I mean that, you know, whenever you see them on footage or in a museum...
Footage?
Yeah. Whenever you see that early
It's a bit
documentary
shaky, innit?
footage.
Yeah, it's black and white as well, isn't it? Caveman footage.
You always see them wearing a little bit of fur little pants and that. So, what I'm saying is, even though... What year is it to these people in the woods?
I don't know what this conversation is anymore. He's just clutching at straws. His mind, it's like a fly. His mind, isn't it? It's just buzzing round. It's trying to find a window, and that's your mind. It is just
it's
like
hitting against pieces of information, but then just bouncing off.
Yeah,
dazed, perplexed.
Forget it then.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
You can't believe your luck, Rick. Paul, the party animal park, has been in touch. I imagine the kind of New Year party he was having last night.
I don't want to think about it, because it gives me a hangover just thinking about what that dude got up to. Yeah, come on, then.
Man alive. But anyway, you know, he never stops. He never stops supplying us with little tidbits.
Oh, what's PP done for us now?
He just likes finding little odds and ends and just sending them in. And you remember when we used to years ago we used to do that thing where we'd read headlines.
Yeah.
And sometimes the headline is all you need from a story.
Yeah.
And this is what's great about this one. If you just give me a news at 10 style bong.
And now the news at 10. Bong.
Boy waited while doctor rode unicycle.
What does that mean?
Well, amazing. A hospital has apologised after a 6-month-old boy waited 2 hours for treatment while a doctor rode up and down a ward on a unicycle. Paula Dadswell has taken her son James to a local general hospital with suspected gastroenteritis. I should point out now, James was fine, it was not a problem. But she spotted the doctor pedalling the unicycle, but was astonished when the same doctor later walked over to examine the child. Miss Dadswell said, "We took one look at the doctor and said, 'You must be joking.' His face went bright red." A spokeswoman for the hospital said, "Of course, we are sorry if distress was inadvertently caused to the mother, and we've offered her our apologies. But let's also remember that we should try and make hospital wards less intimidating places for patients, and we regularly provide diversions that are not directly related to medical care. Many parents have commented favourably on this approach, and indeed about the unicycle.
What I like about that story is that it's the most important job in the world,
Yeah.
and the most useless. Being a doctor is saving lives. It's incredible. It's so noble. Riding a unicycle is the most useless thing you can do. It's that to me is plate spinning, juggling,
Flame eating.
Who goes into plate spinning? Is it like the father going, son, when you've finished university, you can take over the business? But I want to be a doctor, Dad. Look, the plate's nearly, and you're hooked, and you give it a little push, and you're there, and you're hooked.
It's a dying art. You don't see it as often as perhaps you once did.
Dad, I want to be a doctor, but the plate's nearly dropped, son. And unbelievable.
But what I can't make out from that story is whether the doctor he'd done the 7 years medical training, and then they said, you're working at this specific hospital.
Yeah.
They whipped out the unicycle. They said, you're gonna need to learn that as well before we can put you on the wards. Or whether he was practicing. Who knows if he was practicing?
Do you know what I think happened? I think the bloke in charge of the hospital, there was 2 people up for the job. This fella, who was brilliant, he got a first from Oxford, he was amazing, and the bloke in charge's nephew.
yeah.
And they both scored the same.
He did an open university course.
Yeah. And they went, well, you're both very good, but who can ride a unicycle?
He whipped it out.
Yeah.
He went, have a go.
Yeah. And he's been practicing. Unbelievable.
But it's also the idea that if it is indeed something which the hospital has initiated in order to cheer people up, particularly kids, I mean, it just seems like a dangerous thing to be doing in a hospital, with all due respect. I mean,
I think so. You could pull out leads, wires.
Anything could happen.
I know, yeah. They get you to turn your mobile phone off when you go into some ward, so please leave your unicycle here, surely. Do not, no unicycles beyond this point.
If you have a unicycle accident, of course, a great place to be.
It is a good place to be.
It's an ideal space to be already.
But who rides the unicycle anyway? Do you know what really annoys me? We live near a park. It's a lovely park. And on a Saturday for about 3 hours, there's some twat hippie with braids, dreadlocks, sitting there, playing one drum. How can you play one drum? He thinks this is brilliant. This is therapy. It's shut the fuck up.
It's nothing. It's not music. It's not percussion. It's not expressing anything. It's just annoying.
Yeah.
Tell you now, this would be my worst nightmare if you were to take me on an evening out. You say, Steve, we're going tonight, right? You can't get out of it. You've got to do it. It's 2 hours. Stomp.
Oh.
Stomp, where they put dustbins on their feet. Now, I mean, I've seen a little bit of it on the Oscars.
Yeah.
It's alright for 30 seconds. Well done. But what is that show? What is the Stomp show?
I don't know.
I mean, Jesus Christ. After about 15 minutes, you've had enough of that, surely. I'm assuming there's not really a story.
Are they bin men? No, I just wondered how you get into that, how you start practicing and go, do you know what? That sounds quite good.
Yeah, they are. They're bin men, yeah. I was shopping with Karl before Christmas, and we went round sort of Piccadilly and St James's, and those really beautiful shops around there. And I went in one shop. You had to ring a bell to enter.
Yeah.
They came down, and it's like a iconoclastic sort of shop, and they found things from churches and nearly all Russian 16th century pieces onwards. This beautiful carvings and paintings and statues and everything, and I was wowed by it. And this bloke clearly loved his work, and he was, enthusing to me about these stuff. This is from the 16th century. This is Russian. This is and I went, oh, it's beautiful. And as I was looking round, I heard Karl sidle up to the bloke and go, "What's the newest thing you've got here?"
Yeah, sure. That's his first thought.
I mean, that is the wrong question to ask of a man who's clearly in antiques.
Yeah.
Proud of the fact he's got 16th century iconoclastic Russian stuff, to ask, what's the newest thing you've got here? What sort of question is that? Oh, I don't know, probably the doorbell. I don't know, what does he want to say with my shirt? What were you thinking?
Hoping for?
I was just making chat with him, because it's the sort of place that I don't think many people go in, right, Steve? When you go up to this shop, right, it's not sat in there. You have to ring a bell. He's getting on with his life upstairs. He lives upstairs, right? You ring the bell to say, "What, I'll come in your shop." He pops down, stands there watching you look around. So it's not a natural way to shop.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? It's not nice having a bloke stood there watching you look at all this old stuff and that. So I was kind of making friendly chat.
Yeah.
And I think it's an alright question, because he was saying there's loads of old stuff in there, and he kept going on about the old stuff. So what did to say? Or what's the newest thing you've got?
And what was?
Do you know what he said? The other question he asked him? He said, "How often do you get new stuff in?" And the bloke went, every day. And I said to him, why did you ask that? He said, well, I was thinking, if you got antiques and you sell it all, what's left? Like, someone's going to sell all the antiques in the world because they're not he said, because they're not making any new stuff. What does that mean? They're not making any new stuff.
But I know for a fact no one's ever going to go in there and buy the lot anyway. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. I'm not at any point in my life, and I don't think it'll ever happen, will I go, I need some old Russian wood.
It was brilliant.
No,
Steve,
no.
It was beautiful. It's amazing stuff. There's stuff. There's these things from the 16th century of sort of like saints and monks, and they're carved.
But
and
there's loads of it. It's just all piled up. No one's interested. If I was him, I'd go, do you know what? I'm into this, but no one else is. Close shop. Because seriously, it's just piled up, piles upon piles of like old bits of wood with pictures on it and that.
But just think of a man 400 years ago that carved this, you know.
No, but nobody wants it, do they? I've never heard anyone say, you know, oh look, it's my birthday coming up. I'll tell you what I'd love.
What?
Bit of old Russian wood. It doesn't happen. That's what I'm saying. I've never heard anyone saying it. Like, I've never overheard someone saying, you don't know where the Russian shop is, do you? And this is in London where the rates are high. There was this thing, right, Steve? You know, again, making chat. Loads of bits of wood with like them old drawings on, like
it was like a panel from a church that someone had painted,
right, yeah.
And I think it was like, you know, from sort of like 1590 or something, and it was this a picture of this saint, wasn't it?
So 1590, it could be from any time really. So there's this one there, right, leaning up against the wall, and most of them in there was that Stalin bloke, right? But there was this little
right. Can I just stop you there? Lenin.
Right,
okay.
all right then.
Yeah.
So he was on all these bits of wood and stuff. But I saw this other little face, right? Little fella with a beard, right? So I said, who's this bloke here? He said, oh, the story there, right? He said, it's this little fella who went a bit mad or something. He got mugged back in Russia. This is right, isn't it? This is what he was saying. He said he got mugged.
It's just that term, that I love that term in a 16th century Russian wood. Oh no, I'm being mugged.
So he got mugged.
He got happy slapped.
And he said, I've had enough of this, right?
Yeah.
And he went to live in the woods, right? Made like a little shed, stayed there. People went to visit him, and like if you got a problem, you knock on his door and you go, oh, I'm sick of it. And he'll sort of say, yeah, I know what you mean. I've moved out of the city and what have you. And he'd make them feel better, and then they go again. Now, why has that man got a plaque? If he was around now, there's no way he'd have a bit of wood with his face on it, is what I'm saying. If someone had got fed up with living in London or New York or whatever, and they go, I'm going to go and live in the woods, people wouldn't visit him, and he wouldn't get a piece of wood with his face on, is what I'm saying. But this man is selling it for about, I think it was about 750 quid for this bloke's head. He's having a laugh.
Because it's 400 years old and beautifully painted.
But the chances are that this is either a well-known Russian folktale, or it may even be a piece of classic Russian literature.
He's a saint. He was a saint. He was canonised.
Everybody was a saint years ago. That seems to be like thrown about, doesn't it? Who's a saint now in this year? Who's a saint? Name me one now. Yeah, this fella lived in the woods in a hut. Oh yeah, that's Saint John or whatever. He's not a saint. He's done nothing. If anything, he's sort of said, I can't be bothered with living in a city with everyone else. Everyone else has got to put up with it, but I can't put up with it. I'm going to live in the woods. Well, if you can't put up with it, you're not good enough, are you? You've got no stamina. And yet he gets a plaque, is what I'm saying. It's annoying.
Who would you like to see get a plaque in the modern world? Who deserves a plaque, in your opinion?
Probably like nurses and that, who do a lot of bad things that I think I couldn't do that. Carrying lungs about and all that. No, but I couldn't do you know what I mean? That's one job that... my mum wanted me to be a doctor.
Whoa! What was she thinking? Oh, what's her expectations like now?
Apple didn't fall far from the tree.
Oh, when did she start giving up that dream? At what age did she start going, Karl, you don't need to study your books anymore. Go and play with the worms in the garden. When did she sort of like let you off that dream?
Is it the day that she caught you with a spoon up your nose?
From the creators of The Office, Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant. Extras, the first series, now on DVD.
Who are you?
Nobody.
What's that? Who?
Nobody.
That's right. Nobody. And who am I?
So the Starsky Hutch, I can never remember.
You are guaranteed an Oscar if you play a mentor.
I've just written a sitcom, but I wonder if you could give it to anyone you know.
Is there any nudity in it?
Well, it could be.
Men or women?
Either. Well, just women. Yeah.
I will make it so.
Painfully Funny double disc. Extras on DVD now.
That was a good advert, wasn't it?
I'm just remembering some of the great jokes in that show.
What was that for? I always forget what adverts are for. So it was for.
That was for extras available now on DVD.
So if you've got vouchers for Christmas, you could go to a shop and buy.
Go to the shop, yeah,
Extras.
definitely. Absolutely. You could walk straight into any kind of shop, high street shop, and say, "Excuse me, have you got extras on DVD? I've got some vouchers," and exchange them for a copy of the DVD.
Right, and that's big in England and America, isn't it? So on HBO in America, so it's a very successful.
Americans, I guess, the great place to buy that would be on say one of the websites, Amazon or one of the internet shopping
.com or
companies,
.co.uk or Play
and search for it there. But,
.com. And I mean, if it's going the way of The Office, which is the most successful British sitcom ever, I mean, I'd invest now. I'd say I was round at the beginning. I bought extras on DVD the first year it came out.
Get a first edition of the DVD.
Get a first edition of the DVD.
That'll be highly collectible.
And there's great extras on there. You see Sam Jackson and Kate Winslet and Ben Stiller.
Rick, there's some wonderful behind-the-scenes footage, and there's some wonderful little documentaries about, the making of the show. I mean, to me, it just makes perfect sense. It's a great way to see in the new year.
Right, but if you are going into Amazon, .co.uk and you're buying extras, buy a copy of Flanimals. More Flanimals is available now.
Yeah, I don't get any money from that, so I'm not gonna talk about that.
No. Just buy Flanimals, more Flanimals.
Well, don't keep going on about it.
Okay.
That's not fair.
Extras.
Yeah, exactly.